it entails controlling the usage of any foreign currency required. So that is foreign exchange risk management. It entails quite a number of processes. So foreign exchange risk now. Sometimes the word foreign exchange risk is used interchangeably with foreign currency risk. Now, let me go with foreign currency risk. When we talk about it, is the risk that a company or investor may suffer losses due to changes in exchange rates when they engage in international transactions or investments. So this risk arises because exchange rates between different currencies fluctuate due to various economic, political, and market factors. So the foreign exchange risk, the principal risk faced by all companies whose operation requires foreign exchange, is that they face the risk of fluctuation in exchange rates. So the exchange rate between currencies are continuously changing, and the lack of stability creates uncertainty about what foreign exchange income will be when it is received, or when foreign exchange payments will cost when they have to be made. So fluctuation in foreign exchange is a risk to exporters and importers. So why foreign exchange risk occur? Foreign currency risk occurs when, one, a company trades internationally. When a company trades internationally, foreign currency risk will occur. Yes. When you trade internationally, either you import or you export goods or services, you will face foreign currency risk. And also, foreign currency risk occurs when investors invest in foreign assets or financial instruments. So when a business operates or have subsidiaries abroad, they also face foreign currency risk. Because when you have subsidiaries abroad, there will be intra-group trading, and there will be need to convert foreign earnings back to the home currency. Now, if you have passed CR or you are currently doing corporate reporting, there is what we call translation of foreign subsidiaries. When you translate the accounts of your foreign subsidiary into your own home currency, it's also a concept that we'll look at in this topic. So these activities we've mentioned involves payment or receipts in foreign currency, and fluctuation in exchange rates can lead to unexpected financial outcomes. It can result to unexpected financial outcomes. Yes, sorry, I'm not changing my slide because all I'm saying is not in my slide for now. So we have scenarios. We have scenarios whereby we can have the issue of foreign currency risk. Now let's look at the importer perspective. The importer perspective. Let me do some write-ups here. Let's look at the importer perspective. Now, trying to see scenarios where we can face foreign currency risk. The importer perspective. Now, under this, an importer, for example, a Nigerian company buying machinery from the US might need to pay a foreign currency. That is, I need to pay in dollars. So if the foreign currency, please take note of what I'm trying to say now. If the foreign currency appreciates against the home currency, the importer will pay more naira. Let me write it because I'll present a question that I'll require you to give me answer. No. Now, an importer perspective, that if the foreign currency appreciates, if the foreign currency appreciates against the home currency, the importer will pay more. And as you pay more naira now, in terms of the Nigerian perspective, will pay more naira for the same dollar amount. Now, take note of this. On the other way around, if the US dollar, if dollar depreciates, if dollar should depreciate, the importer will pay what? Will pay less naira. Pay less naira. Let me say this is favorable. Yes, this is favorable. Now, take note of this. If you are importing goods to Nigeria from US, definitely you pay in dollars. Now, if the foreign currency appreciates, that is, naira depreciates in relation to dollars, that is, the foreign currency appreciates more, gains more power over naira. If you are to pay in dollars, you look for more naira to pay in foreign currency. But if dollar should depreciate, that is, if naira should gain more strength over dollar, it means if you want to pay in dollars, you have to pay less. You look for less naira to pay. Take note of that. That is in the case of an importer. Now, for an exporter now, what will happen? In the case of an exporter, I have this in a table. I will show it to us. In the case of an exporter, the exporter perspective now. Now, an exporter, for example, a Nigerian company selling cocoa to a buyer in UK. What will happen? An exporter will receive payments in foreign currency. You will receive payments in foreign currency. So if the foreign currency depreciates before payment, what will happen? The exporter will receive what? Less naira when converting the dollar to naira, because this will lead to a loss. When you export to US and the value of dollar depreciates, what will happen? When you convert that dollar to naira, it means you receive less naira because the value of dollar is less compared to naira. That is, naira has gained more strength over dollar. So if the foreign currency appreciates, if the foreign currency appreciates, as we have presently in Nigeria, that dollar is way, way stronger than naira. People earning in dollars are always happy, because when the value of naira gains strength over dollar, when they convert their dollar to naira, they will go home with less naira. But when the value of dollar keep appreciating over naira, they'll be going home with more naira. You understand? So if the foreign currency appreciates, the exporter gains because they receive more naira for the same foreign amount. Yes. So in the case of an investor now, an investor investing abroad needs to convert the home currency into a foreign currency. So if the foreign currency depreciates after the investment is made, the value of the investment falls in terms of the home currency. So currency movement can impact both the principal investment and the returns in form of dividend or interest. So now let me present something. Let's look at a simple illustration regarding this. Yes. That's depreciation of foreign currency. Now, when foreign currency depreciates, when a foreign currency depreciates, it means what? It means it is worth less. It is worth less in terms of the home currency. It is worth less in terms of the home currency. Yes. So you will need fewer units of home currency to buy 1 unit of foreign currency if the foreign currency depreciates. Take note, please put down some of these words, that once the foreign currency depreciates, you need fewer units. You need fewer units of home currency to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. For example, assume that $1 is equal to 800 naira. Let me just put as initially. Now, US dollar depreciates. Let me say the dollar depreciates. Dollar depreciates to so 700 naira. Dollar depreciate to 700 naira. I believe you understand the meaning of this concept of depreciation. When we say dollar depreciate, it means naira has gained more strength over dollar. Yes, it means dollar depreciates. So now, for an exporter, this means what? If the exporter receive, let's say, $1,000, the exporter receive $1,000 at 800. at 800 naira, it means they will get how much in naira? How much will they get in naira?
800,000.
They will get 800,000.
That's
Yeah.
800,000.
They will get 800,000 initially. Now, if dollar should depreciate to naira, how much will they get?
700,000.
700,000.
They will get
700,000.
700,000. Fine. They'll get 700,000. So let me just now this is all I've been saying. This is the summary here, that foreign currency depreciation. When we have foreign currency depreciation, receipts will have adverse movement. Receipt will have adverse movement. It means if you are to get money in foreign currency, you get less compared to the home currency. So receipt will have adverse movement. That is, you will receive less home currency. For example, we have $1 to 1,000 naira, and it fell to $1 to 900. If you have to convert your dollar to naira, it means you get less of naira because the foreign currency has appreciated and the naira has gained more strength over the foreign currency. That is in case of receipts. Now, if you want to pay, let's say you want to pay in dollars and you need to convert your naira to dollars, payment result in favorable movement. That is, you will pay less in the home currency. It means you will need less naira to pay in dollars when foreign currency depreciates. Now, in terms of appreciation of foreign currency means the currency worth more compared to the home currency. So in terms of receipts, what will happen if dollar should appreciate over naira? It means if you want to get dollars, you'll be getting more, because when you convert dollar to naira, you get more in terms of the home currency. It means receipt. This will result in favorable movement, meaning you will receive more. So when $1 is to 1,000 naira and its dollar appreciates to $1 to 1.5, when you convert dollar to naira, you get more of naira. But in terms of payment, what will happen? Payment will result in adverse movement, meaning you have to pay more. For example, if you have any transaction to do in dollars presently, you know you have to pay more. You have to gather more naira and convert it to dollars. So these are the implications of foreign currency transactions. Now we have types of risk. Okay, let me just read from my slide, though I don't have much battery life here. Let me see. Okay. The globalization has served to increase the amount of foreign trade, which has in turn increased the amount of foreign currency transactions that companies have. That any dealing in foreign currency represents the problem of the risk of changes in exchange rate. The adoption in most Europe of the single currency, that is the euro, has removed the problem for companies trading within Europe. But for trading with companies in other countries, an important role of the financial manager is to look for ways of removing or reducing the risk. So this class is focused on looking at different ways available for the removal or reduction of the risk of changes in exchange rate. So now we have various types of risk. We have transactional risk. That this is the risk that a transaction in a foreign currency at one exchange rate is settled at another rate. So if this is the risk that the financial manager may attempt, it is the risk that the financial manager may attempt to manage. So transactional risk, this is the risk of unfavorable rates in terms of exchange rate. during the course of normal foreign trading transactions. So this risk occurs when the prices of goods are fixed in a foreign currency. So, and when they are fixed, they experience fluctuations. We experience fluctuation in the exchange rate between the dates when the price is agreed and the dates when the cash is paid. So, movement in exchange rate is faced by the exporter who invoice in a foreign currency and importer who pay in a foreign currency. So this is transaction risk. There is an example related to this. Let me see. There's an example I want us to look at related to, yes, transaction risk. Now, this is a question. This is a question on transaction risk. That on 1st January, a UK firm enters into a contract to buy a piece of equipment from the US for $300,000. The invoices is to be settled on 31st March. The exchange rate on 1st January is $1.6 to £1. However, by 31st March, the pound may have strengthened to $1, $1.75 to £1, or depreciate to $1.45 to £1. Explain the risk faced by the UK Fed. Now, looking at this question, the transaction was entered into 1st January, but the settlement did not occur that day. So as at the date this transaction occurred, 1st January, the exchange rate is $1.06 is equivalent to £1. But however, by March 31st, the pound may have strengthened. It means the dollar has depreciated in relation to pounds. Yes, and also the pounds also might have depreciated in relation to the dollar. Now we should explain the risks faced by the Fed, by the UK Fed. Now, as at the day the transaction occurred, 1st January, what is the equivalent value of $300,000 to pounds? If you have your book, work it out. $1.6 equivalent to £1. When you convert $300 as at 1st January, what would be the equivalent of $300 to a pound? You don't know how to do the conversion.
187.
I'm coming there. I want to test.
187,500.
You said?
187,500.
187,500.
Yes, 187,500. So it means as at 1st January, the equivalent value of $300,000 in terms of pounds is 187,500. Now, if we are to make our payments as at 1st of January, we're going to pay 187,500 in pounds. However, by March 31st, the pound may have strengthened. This is the date the settlement will occur. So what will now be the equivalent value of $300,000 in relation to pounds if pounds have strengthened over dollar? That is based on $1.75 equal to £1, what will be the equivalent value of $300 based on this? Based on this.
171.48.
171,429.
Fine. That is in the case where pounds have strengthened over dollars. Now, where pounds have depreciated in relation to dollar, what is the equivalent? So we want to do a comparison. What is the equivalent?
206,897.
All right, thank you. Now, this is it. This is it. That's January 1st. The value of $300 in relation to pounds is 187,500. As at March 31st, that is the time of settlement, when we have the case of the dollar depreciating in relation to pounds, we have it as 171,429 pounds. So you pay less when foreign currency depreciates. You pay less when foreign currency depreciates. Now, when we have an appreciation in relation to the foreign currency, and we convert 300,000 to pounds, we have 206,897 pounds. You pay more when foreign currency appreciates. When foreign currency appreciates, you pay more. But when foreign currency depreciates, you pay less. Now, what is the implication? The transaction risk. As at January 1st, the cost is 187. But based on the fact that or as at March 31st, the settlement will be what? We're going to pay what? 171,429 in pounds. But if we have paid this value as at January 1st, we would have paid more. But because there's a depreciation of foreign currency, we are now paying less. So it means there is a gain. There's an exchange gain of 16,071. Now, in relation to the appreciation of foreign currency, the initial cost is 187,500. But with the fact that the foreign currency appreciates, it means we are paying more. So when we compare to the initial cost as at January 1st, it means since we are paying as at 31st March, we're going to pay more and we're going to encounter loss. So this is a case of exchange gain or loss in relation to transaction risk. Now, in your corporate reporting, as you solve your group accounts in relation to foreign subsidiary, in relation to net assets, in relation to transfers between the subsidiaries in terms of loan, you also need to compute for exchange gain in such scenarios. Yes, in such scenarios, even in terms of goodwill in corporate reporting, you will have to do things like this. So this is a case of transaction risk. It's a case of transaction risk. And also, we can also have a case of translation risk. Translation risk. The translation risk that this relates to the exchange profit or losses that result from converting foreign currency balances for the purpose of preparing the account. These are of less relevance to the financial management because they are book entries as opposed to actual cash flows. Yes, these are just for accounting purpose. They are just risks that a company will make to exchange in relation to exchange of losses when the accounting results of the foreign branches or subsidiaries are translated into the home currency. The translation losses can result, for example, from restating the book value of a foreign subsidiary's asset at the exchange rate on the balance sheet. So that is transaction risk. It's just for accounting purpose. Now we have economic risk. The economic risk, this is the effect of fluctuation in exchange rate on international competitiveness of a company. So it refers to the effect on the present value of the price of a dollar. So it refers to the effect of the present value of longer term cash flows. For example, a Nigerian company might use raw materials priced in dollar, but export its products to European countries. A depreciation of naira against the dollar or an appreciation of sterling against euro will both erode the competitiveness of the company. So it should be noted that economic exposure may be difficult to avoid, although diversification of the supplier and the customer base across different countries will reduce this kind of exposure to risk. So economic risk refers to the change in the present value of future cash flows due to unexpected movements in foreign exchange rates. So there is also an example I have in relation to this. Yes, I have this example that sorry, the network it's raining here, and the network is actually fluctuating. I'll still round up the class now. I want to get an opinion on when to meet with you. I think Friday is probably good. So I will talk extensively on this. Now, looking at this question, please take this question down. I will just quickly show the solution. Battery is gone. A US exporter sells one product in Europe on a cost plus basis. Selling price is based on US price from $16 to cover cost and provide a profit margin. Current exchange rate is 1.26 pounds to $1. What would be the effect on the exporter's business if dollar strengthened to 1.3 pounds to $1? So now I can see your hands up. Don't worry, I will just quickly take that your questions. I don't have the battery is on 14%. So the product was initially selling for how much? For 16. For $16. For $16. Now, when you convert $16 to pounds, what will happen? The product was initially selling for $16. When you convert $16 to pounds, you're going to multiply the value of pounds in relation to dollars. Now, the way you do this most times, sometimes the easy way to know this is that when you write 1.26 equal to $1, you write the dollars on the same portion and make x equal to $16 and look for the value of x. Now, since you are not trying to convert to dollars, if you are trying to convert to dollars, what we do most times is to divide. But now you're trying to convert dollars to pounds. So you multiply. I'll speak more on this in our next class. So the product was initially selling for $16. So to convert that value to pounds, it will be $16 multiplied by 1.26. The equivalent of that in pounds is 20.16. Now, after the movement in exchange rates, the exporter may raise the price. Now, you can see the exchange rate, that what would be the effect on the exporter's business if the dollar strengthens, dollar gain more strength, and the pound depreciates. So what would be? It means to raise the price of the product to $16 multiplied by 1.31. It means the pound value will increase to what? 20.96 pounds. So if the price is raised, they might lose some of the sales due to competitiveness of the market. Take note, this is economic risk. And in this business, there might be quite a number of competitors in other countries whose price is relatively low compared to buying from Europe. This is a US exporter who sells one product in Europe on a cost plus basis. So they might tend to lose customers because the value of the goods in Europe is high. The European markets or European customers tend to look for other means of getting that product. So this is just trying to explain economic risk. It's trying to explain economic risk, that the risk that sometimes you cannot control yourself. There are macro issues that is beyond the control of a manager in an organization. So my battery is down. I will not want to continue, and I won't be able to end the class on the YouTube. So I don't know if it will be fine if we can meet on Friday. Can we meet on Friday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes,
We
sir.
can
But please,
actually
do
meet
you
on Friday if our audit tutor, the subject you're supposed to have on Friday, if they will permit you. So if you can do us the favor of speaking with them to permit you, Friday is
No,
fine, sir.
on Friday. On Friday, it will be morning.
That's fine.
No,
morning.
money will not work. Oh.
Friday is public holiday.
It's
I
public
just want to
holiday,
see
but
how
you have to consider Christians among us. Oh.
you should maybe the time matters.
Friday is good, please.
Yes, can we just come to a consensus so that we know what to do?
Friday is fine.
Okay,
Just
if
give
it's
us
not fine, let's meet on Monday.
Right now, after the audit starts 5:50.
All right. Let's meet on Monday then. I will talk to Miss Olashide.
what time?
Sir, I think Fridays can still work because our audit class is actually 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. thereabouts. So we can still use 7 to 9 p.m. on Friday.
What time on
What
Friday?
time on Friday?
Okay. All right. Let's make it 7 then on Friday evening.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay, sir.
Then if we can make it by maybe by one on Friday too. Because it's a very wide topic. So
Hello,
but
sir.
let us make it because next week.
Hello, sir. Please do us good by sending the material to the group.
Hello, good evening, sir. Please, can you send us the slide to our groups? Thank you.
Please, what's the conclusion? Are we meeting on Friday by 1 or 7?
Both.
I think it should be 7 in the evening. 7.
Hello, class. If it will be better for us to meet in the afternoon. In the morning, some will go for service. In the evening, some will go for service. So let us meet in the afternoon on Friday.
Muslim
If the
too will
tutor,
go for prayer in the afternoon.
when are you going for prayer in the afternoon? Let it be after your prayer. Hello.
In that afternoon, it's okay.
I think the best time should be that 7 o'clock. At least by that time, everybody might have finished all what.
Are you talking of 7 in the evening?
Yes,
Yes.
7 evening is okay.
Look at it like
Please,
7.
Please, they agree time. They agree
Is there?
time to send to the group. So everybody will be carried along, please.
Hello, sir. Please, can you send us the slide to our groups?
I think the tutor is not on the call again.
The tutor have left. It's only we that were
So,
here.
okay, please, what's the agreed time now? Hello, have we agreed time for the next lectures?
Do we